I wanted to start off today's video with a quick shout out to my Discord community, in particular one member, C-Vein, for inspiring today's deck idea. We have this Golgari sacrifice list, and it revolves around a really cool combination between the Undying Malice and a couple of prototype creatures. The idea is getting things like the Amalgam and the Flesh Gorger onto the battlefield for their more discounted half of the card, bringing them in for their smaller sizes, using sacrifice mechanics to generate a ton of value off of our own things when we kill them, but then bringing them right back with this Undying Malice, acting almost like a blink effect, bringing our prototype creatures in for their bigger halves, which is a pretty busted way to exploit prototype. There are some really cool ways to sacrifice things with things like Vivian and the Skyfisher Spider. The Spider sacks our own creatures to blow up anything on the opponent's side of the field. Vivian sacrifices them, bringing in a bigger version of another creature, which is pretty awesome. The deck was a ton of fun, and again, inspired by our beautiful Discord community. So if you guys don't know, there's a link below for the Discord if you guys want to join. There's a thriving community where we share ideas, and some of those ideas do resonate with me, and I end up using some of those on the video. So huge shout out to them, and if you guys want, there'll be a full deck breakdown at the end of today's video, so stick around for that. In the meantime, in the links below, full deck list, and if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out an absolute ton, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, enjoy the video. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be playing some Golgari, and it's going to be sacrifice based. This is a very fun deck that we put together. I've been having a blast with it, and honestly it's been doing really well for me as well. It's a Vivian deck, so it's going to be a lot of fun because I absolutely love playing Vivian. Opening hand here is a little bit sketch, but I do have a 3-drop in the Flesh Gorger, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Really was trying to figure out if that was worth the keep or not. Not to mention I have a pretty good curve out after that, but oh man, mono blue right off the rip. That's not good. That is not a good deck to be playing against at any point in time for anybody. Here we go. Impulse, sure. They are going to be doing a lot of countering. I do have technically 2 removal cards for the Djinns, because it can go ahead and make them sacrifice the highest power creature that they have, and then I can also bring back 2 cards from the graveyard, creatures that is, and hopefully if they do counter these 2 things, I can bring them back to my hand. We'll see what we can do. Started off with the Flesh Gorger, and we're gonna see if this resolves. Highly unlikely that that's gonna resolve. As long as we can keep them off of, I was just gonna say, Thirst for Discovery, then we're fine, but they actually play it instead of countering. All right, so they've got a lot of cards to work with now. I do wonder if they're willing to take damage here to just bounce this back to my hand. I'm sure they can afford. Sure they can afford it. No Fading Hope for sure, because there was no priority hold there. Wow, no Make Disappear or Essence Scatter or anything like that as well. That's interesting. What? You would think that they would have had at least one of those things. Oh, this could end up being insane if I can if they don't fill up their graveyard, but of course they could fill up their graveyard very easily here. I don't think we can attack into them here because they just double block the 3/3 here if I swing in with just this, and then if I swing in with both, they could end up double blocking here, killing this. I don't necessarily love the idea of any of that, so I'm going to go ahead and play out the Junji. I don't want to pull the Gix's Command here, like I said, because I could do Gix's Command to kill everything with 2 power, but then they just play like an Impulse and these go up to 3. So these aren't exactly ideal. These aren't the most ideal things to play right now either. I don't know what to do here. Junji will be nice because we can make them discard, or we can take one of their Djinns off their hands, but we'd have to get the Djinn to the graveyard, of course, so we'll see if they're able to pump them up high enough. Teferi, what in the world? Okay, I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just so terrified at that, the Djinns can go up to power 3 at any point in time. Maybe it's slip out the back. Maybe I shouldn't be so worried. Well, I guess that would still bring up the other one. That would bring 1 to 3, and then the other one would be... Yeah, I don't know. Here's what we're gonna do. This and this. We know that they don't have essence scatter or make disappear, at least, you know, at least 2 turns ago, which means that they're probably a much different deck than what we would anticipate. They have Teferi, they're probably running slip out the backs and things like that, but that doesn't help them here with this problem that we're about to create, because even if we can get one of their Jins out of play here, even if it is through a slip out the back scenario where they save it, something like that, you know, they're not going to be able to do much about the attackers coming through here because they all have menace and things like that. So yeah, I figured that was going to be good. All right, so now we can go ahead and easily kill Teferi. This could end up getting the Fading Hope treatment though, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this just in case they have the Fading Hope. I have to kill Teferi. I can't let that thing stick out there. There's the scoop. Okay, I think I read that pretty well with the Fading Hope or some sort of bounce mechanic, or even if it was slip out the back, they could have slipped out the back on my Junji, saving Teferi. So that way with the double attack, we ensure that Teferi, you know, either dies here or they give up their Jin blocking here, and then they'd have the Fading Hope or whatever, you know, slip out the back on this to save it, but then they lose their Jin. So yeah, very good, I guess. I expected a lot more counter magic. GG. Well, that was a great way to start it off, this video, because Mono Blue is one of those decks that really, it kind of lives in my head, man. I'm so afraid of that deck every time we see it. It just gives me like just the feeling that I'm not going to win every time. I don't know what it is about that deck, but it's the one deck I just really don't want to see. Opening hand here, going second is really slow, but I don't think I have much of a choice because the mana's good. I got life gain, I got a sweeper, so I'm going to keep it. I may end up regretting this pretty heavily. We'll see. Cabaretti, huh? Okay. That's Naya colors, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Mountain, forest. Yeah. Okay. And we do draw a 2-drop. Love that. That's going to help out a ton. Toshiro is super clutch, especially in a potential token deck here. Nice, dude. Toshiro's going to get some serious bodies under it right away. Just killing a Gallic Readers. What a high value kill there. Toshiro's been one of my absolute favorites lately. I'm spamming this card a little too much, I think, but still a lot of fun. Lion Sash. That's also going to die. Well, they can go ahead and exile from their graveyard, though, to avoid death. Yep, it does avoid the death. Gaining 2 life, then. It's not terrible. It's something that we can play at least this turn, right? So we'll go ahead and drop this down. It's a 2/3 body. Another Cabaretti Courtyard, which is another thing that they can sacrifice from their graveyard, going to exile, making their Sash a little bit bigger. Borrowed Time. What are they going to take here? Because if they take the Amalgam, if I end up finding a way to blow up the Borrowed Time, which we do have, we can get a much bigger Amalgam back, which is actually really nice. That's a great find as well. Undying Malice is such a key and integral part to this deck. But yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and play out the Spider here. Sacrifice the Toshiro. Get back our Amalgam. And now we got a 5/5 Amalgam, which can then, you know, next turn, if we find a land drop, could become a 15/15 body with trample, which is pretty ridiculous. Let's see if we can pull it off. Nope, we sure can't. Amalgam back under the Borrowed Time. Pretty frustrating, but it's okay. I mean, as far as things, you know, as bad as they could be, this isn't terrible. So I'm willing to make this trade too. No, they don't want to do it, huh? Not feeling it, are we? Okay. I don't know. This is a great play here because I can give 2/1/1 counters and blow this up. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. I just didn't know if I wanted to waste that now on a single creature or if I wanted to play the Junji and just get that into play. But this is fine. This will have to work for now. Brutal Cathar. Okay. Gonna need to find a way to get that back. I do love that I drew a land there because it does make the Junji a much safer play because I have the Undying Malice. But The opponent is running Selesnya. We've seen a bunch of exiling effects. I highly doubt they're running a kill spell. It's gonna, if be anything, it's gonna be an exiling effect like a borrowed time. So, all right, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. All right, the Mender's actually not bad either because it's a great way to draw a card here if we end up, you know, losing it at any point, which we could. Do we pressure the opponent here with an attack? I don't think so. I kind of want them to attack into me and then make a trade with the Junji, so that way I can get the Junji right back. It seems, oh, gosh, pressuring them also seems like a great idea, but I think that their board is going to scale pretty quickly here. Like I said, if they play one creature here, this Beast Caller goes to a 4/4. They give another 1/1 counter, it goes to 5/5. They probably attack into me, and if they do, I'm kind of hoping for that so I can make a block and then bring the Junji right back. This gives all their on-tap things hexproof and all their tap things have death touch. Good to know. It's a really cool card. I've actually tried to play it myself a few times. I haven't figured out where I would love it to be in yet though. Wow, they're not attacking into us. I didn't expect that. That's a bummer. We can go for the full 7/7 body here, but then I wouldn't be able to hold open the Malice. So I think I'm just gonna have to play it for its 3/3 body, which is a bummer. And we'll do on pass the turn. We're gonna look to double block now. Same thing. Beast Caller is probably gonna be a little bit more confident now that it's gonna have 6 counters on it, or up to a 6/6 body to attack. And if it does, I'll make the double block happen. So anyway, it's gonna be good. Well, they looked at every possible creature here. They decide on the Brutal Cathar, which means probably no attack here. All right, which means I'm gonna have to start getting a little bit of aggressive here. I don't think we can sit back much longer and just eat this. You know what though? That's actually a really nice find. Let's do this. They have 1 mana open. What in the, I'm sorry, 1 card in their hand. What could that possibly be? There's nothing with the reach, so we get across with Junji. I'm very confused at what is in their hand because they highlighted my things like they might actually do something here. All right, we play out the spider. It's no counter spells. The worst that they can do is throw out a kill spell here, so we sack this. Love this. That's what I was worried about. We have to choose the trigger first. Dang it. All right, well, let's make them discard 2 cards then. Oh, it does happen on, oh gosh darn it. I was gonna steal the Viper. That's my own fault. I should have chosen to steal a card from a graveyard, but then I think I have to choose it before it happens. I don't know. I think the way the triggers happened there, I don't think it was possible for me to get the Viper, but I would have loved to have gotten the Viper in my own board, of course. All right, so the opponent now has a very big Beast Caller, and they do still have a big Brutal Cathar as well. So if I can blow up the Brutal Cathar at any point, now that it doesn't have hexproof, we can start talking about potentially getting back into this game. All right, triple blocking this all day because it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So triple block it. It's 1/1 counters do go over to something else too, which I would imagine they're going to put the 1/1 counters on the Brutal Cathar. Gotta find myself a kill spell here of some sort. It would be really nice to get a Gix's Command. That would do the trick. They spread the 1/1 counters out though. Interesting. We're gonna decline this because we may bring this back with a Cruelty of Gix. Well, this is a bummer. We're gonna have to let it change over to nighttime, which is gonna flip the Brutal Cathar over, but they're not gonna be able to play 2 spells this turn unless they find a draw spell, so I highly doubt that's gonna be the case. What a tricky game this is turning out to be, huh? They did find a banger though. That's a really good card. I don't have the special land though to get it down yet. All right. Easiest block of my life. I need the extra card. Come on, give me something good here. Not that. That is not something good. Okay. I guess that's something, right? I could turn into a 15/15 body next turn, so that's a plus. What a weird game, man. I just ran out of value. I ran out of juice here, which is kind of crazy. Had I gotten that Viper down, we might be in a better spot too, but again, I don't think that was possible. So based on how the stacks trigger or the stack triggers and stuff. All right, so the frontier is gonna the frontliner, I'm sorry, is going to give a 1/1 to the Brutal Cathar again, and then we're gonna take a lot of damage here. 13 if I don't block, and I don't think I want to block here, so gonna let this damage get through, unfortunately. All right, down to 12. You hate to see it. That's not bad. That's not bad. We're definitely gonna go here, and we're gonna try to I don't know, do we attack into the opponent here? They're just gonna block with the 3/4, right? And then we play the Mender, which can block on the return, taking 6, 7, 8, 9, and I gain life, assuming they don't disrupt the board at any point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to swing here, I think. Force the opponent to make a block here, which clearly the Titania is going to be the choice. All right. And then, like I said, we do play out the Circuit Mender here. Circuit Mender gains us a little bit of life, and it creates a body that we can block with, and it can also draw us a card when it dies. So this should be pretty good. This should be pretty good. Let's see. Let's see what the opponent's final card is. I guarantee they're holding on to a spell because they want to flip the Brutal Cathar over. So that's not surprising if they play 2 spells out this turn. Roaring Earth. Okay. I've got a deck with Roaring Earth coming up tomorrow, actually. Awesome. All right. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage potentially coming down here, but that's fine. We draw a card with the Circuit Mender and we win the game. So if they attack with everything here, they lose. All right, they don't attack with everything. Smart. All right, so let's draw a card. That's a card. Wow, that's a really good card. What's in the yards? What's the oh man, that's so good. It says target creature an opponent controls gets negative XX, where X is the mana value. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, this is so good. All right, I think we win the game. I think we win the game. Let's go. We're back. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, dude. This is very nice. Let's go ahead and exile. We need something with 6. We don't have it, unfortunately. They don't have it either. Dang it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and exile this then, and let's go ahead and take counters. There we go. That's not bad. That's not bad. They're gonna have to block anyways, so that's gonna die regardless. That was a heck of a turn, if I have to say so, you know? That was not bad at all. And we get a Flesh Scorcher to top things off. Oh, what a clutch card that was, man. The Cemetery Desecrator, what a card. Wow. That was the turnaround of the century right there. There it is. There it is. Oh my god, I was honestly thinking we were gonna lose that game. So yes, very happy. Thanks for asking. Oh, I'm so jacked up after that one. That was such a good comeback there. Like, that Brutal Cathar was just holding way too much value underneath it. This is scary, but I'm gonna keep it anyways because I'm a mad lad. This could potentially be a handful of only 5 mana drops, which is not what you want to see. But we're gonna try it. Come on, green source, please. I need to get this amalgam down. Oh, that's not good. That's not good because the arena client's only going to give you 1 land here, and the fact that it wasn't green means we're probably not finding the green one. That's just my assumption. We'll see, but would not surprise me in the least bit. All right, so Mishra's research desk is sacrifice this, exile top 2 cards of your library, choose one of them until the end of the next turn. You may play it. All right, and another green card we can't play. Sheesh, come on, man. Come on, man. All right, at least there's no 3rd land drop, it looks like. That's kind of good, I guess. There we go. At least it gets us a body to help protect for just at least 1 single turn, but it's probably going to get hit with some sort of burn spell at this point. I hope not, because if I can get a couple counters and give it lifelink next turn, that would be pretty busted. Yes, that is, like, honestly one of the best things they could have played right there. I will take that all day long. Here we go. And we get another green source. Lovely. All right, we should be able to win the game, I think, with this. There's gonna be a pretty big swing here. Pretty big swing here. We got ourselves lifelink on this. We go back up. They, oops, I would imagine because they played the squee into that, I guess they probably think they should have seen that coming, but oh, that's a pretty hard thing to read. I do have the War Chief, by the way, guys, which is another 3 life gain. Oh, they get 2 cards. They get to play with fire and rendering flame. Neither one can be played this turn. To the end of your next turn. So they lost value on that, I think, or the end of your next turn. So they might be able to still play it, actually. Yeah, they can still play it. All right. Anything in their graveyard that I want to steal? I think I gotta play this, right? And yes, I am blitzing this because I want to draw a card. And I want the 4/4 body right away so I can protect myself and deal that damage. Blitzing is a very good mechanic on the right kind of card. That is one of them. They're down to 7. Rendering flame, sure. They can't attack into me unless they want to maybe just get a few cards. Yeah, they're looking to just get a couple of cards. They really want that land drop, I would imagine. They did get it, but it was not a red source, which means no play with fire coming down this turn to kill my 4/4. That should just about do it. That should just about do it. We're gonna attack in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go level 3 right away. And honestly, I'm just gonna get back this here, gain some more life. And it has trample, so it should get through pretty easily. Let's just go super wide and try to close this thing. All right, mono red, not standing any chance against all the life gain that we had to offer. Like I said, this deck gains a lot of life pretty passively. You know, not even thinking about it. When I built this, I didn't even think about the fact that it would gain as much life as it does. This does really well against these like mono red decks that try to burn face. This could have gone really bad though. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. If we didn't find green sources, that keep was a bit shaky to say the least. And we got Tashiro too on top of that, so that would have also gained us a bunch of life. So GG's, unfortunately, mono red, not enough to cut it against this build, I don't think. Love it. All right, we did just play one more game that you guys aren't going to see. We did win. Yeah, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I made an abysmal misplay, like one of the worst misplays ever, very early on in the game, and still came back and won. But Didn't feel like getting roasted today, so you know what? We're gonna leave that one out. We're gonna leave that one out. All right, let's go with Tashiro turn 2 here. Love this. Opponent is on Bank Buster. Okay. Some Bank Buster, are we? Gain 2. Cemetery Desecrator, absolute MVP, man. Still can't believe how good that was for us there at the end. That was so clutch. Undying Malice, that's also pretty solid. I'm gonna go with the Amalgam here because I'm gonna go ahead and Undying Malice the Amalgam and then get it back at a 5/5 body to do it all over again, which is kind of what this deck was designed around. This sort of combination that, you know, again, a viewer from our Discord had mentioned. Shout out to our viewers, man, for always having some crazy good ideas. And the opponent did not hit a land drop. Kind of struggling. Kind of struggling. All right, next turn, I think we're going to go ahead and pump up the Amalgam here with the Tashiro's ability. We'll see what we decide to do here. Looks like they're, you know, running out of options here, not being able to find their land drop. If they didn't find it there off that card draw, they might even concede because that is pretty frustrating, and I wouldn't blame them if they did. They have something playable, at least for 2 mana. Go for the throat. Okay. That's fine. They did miss the land drop. Wow. Feels bad, man. All right, well, the Tashiro's also going to be able to kill their 1/1 as well, which is bad news bears for them. Take that out. Just not a good day. The opponent's not having a good time right now. I'll tell you that much. All right, next turn, we Undying Malice, sack the Amalgam. Amalgam comes right back, and we get in for a lot of damage. I do have the Cemetery Desecrator too here if I want it, but I think I'd rather do this play, to be honest. All right, we sacrifice. This comes back. And we got a 6/6 now. And then next turn, we're going to be swinging through with 18. Wait, is it 18? I don't even know. It was 15 originally, so 15, 16, 17. Yeah, it should be 18, right? 6, 12. Yeah, 18. So this next one's going to have an 18/18 body produced out of the Amalgam. So I would imagine this is pretty much over. They can't even minus 5/5 on these, so yeah, that'll do it. That was a pretty easy game for us. Unfortunately for the opponent, they just did not have enough to keep up. They just missed too many land drops, to be honest. So it's a nice GG's there. The Amalgam gets the job done, which is really kind of what I wanted to showcase as well. So I'm happy we were able to do that, but not exactly how I want to take a W. I feel bad. All right, we're kind of terrorizing the ladder right now with this thing. It is pretty busted. Pretty busted, man. We're almost to Platinum Tier 1 again, though, which we got to once before earlier this month, like right away, honestly, and then lost it completely going all the way back down on the ladder, messing around with some Reanimator deck that I've been really wanting to work out, but I just cannot seem to get to work. All right, and oh, we finally get another Vivian in hand here, so we get to showcase that, hopefully. We're up against Esper mid-range more than likely. All right. Nice. I'm happy we hit that land drop, that's for sure. All right. I think I'm going to go the Amalgam here. I want to make sure I always have the Undying Malice ready to go. Looks like Make Disappear possibly, but could be anything for Flash as well. There's a lot of kill spells they could have. Oh, Dissipate. Wow. Sorry, allergies are going a little bit crazy. Let me go and... All right, we get another land. I love that. That's super clutch. And the opponent might have a Wandering Emperor here. No Emperor, huh? Are we just gonna beat him down completely with these Circuit Menders? This is clearly an Esper control deck at this point. It's no longer mid-range. I was just gonna say, so if it's not Wandering Emperor, it's gotta be Memory Deluge. So getting a bit of a more of a clear picture on what it is that the opponent's running here. We're pretty terrified to run out any sort of Vivian here because of the counter spells. Okay. I'm gonna go and deep do one of these, and we get to draw 2 cards, which is really nice. So we should definitely be able to get Vivian out now too, because they've tapped out. So that was really clutch on our end, that the opponent played that out. We feel pretty good about that one. We feel very good about that one. That the timing on that was just very poor for them, unfortunately. Not their fault, they didn't know, but this was definitely Vivian territory, so you hate to see it. All right, got ourselves a spider, which didn't have anything to target, which is fine. Fateful Absence is pretty brutal. Yikes.
This isn't worth my time.
Yikes. Let's draw a card and see what we hit. 2, 4, 5. All right, it's another land. Attack into the opponent here. Looks like a Wandering Emperor now is coming down. No, nothing, huh? All right. Circuit Mender plus Toshiro seems nice. Probably should have played Toshiro. After looking at the board state in my mana, I probably should have played Toshiro out prior to combat, so I could have gotten more damage through, but we'll take the life gain. That's one part of Toshiro's game that I always forget to utilize, to be honest, is that plus 2 damage to you know, or plus 2 power to my creature, which could be pretty relevant sometimes. Farewell. Yikes. Not bad. Guess we just play this out. There's no graveyards, so the Desecrator not exactly a top tier card at the moment. All right, we're getting outvalued here now. The opponent hitting that farewell was pretty insane. I feel like we were in a really good spot, and all of a sudden with one farewell, the game just completely shifts onto its head. That's a bummer. It's quite the card. Farewell is definitely quite the card. Somebody just rang my doorbell, and I believe I'm the only one home, so... Oh, it's a package. We're good. We are good. My dog may bark though for a minute. Gosh darn it. Always happens when I'm recording. 1 second, let me go and calm my dog down here. All right, that's a bummer of a card to play. I did just draw an answer though immediately, which is pretty sweet. All right, taking care of that, no problems. All right, they get a land. We don't care. Nothing in their yard I really care about either. I'm gonna go ahead and attack here. They may triple block this, which is totally fine. I'll just Undying Malice it. It's not exactly how I wanted to use the Malice, but you know, if it means to reset my spider at 4/4 and kill all of these, okay. Decline. All right, here we go. My last card. Are we going to be able to pull this off? I highly doubt it, because I would imagine one of these 3 cards that they have here is some sort of memory deluge or thirst for discovery. So that's something. Just got to play what we get now. It becomes a top deck war here. Who's going to draw the best? Kind of. I'm sure. Yep. No, that's going to do it. Yeah. No shot we survive this. That's going to get them a lot of card advantage here. That's a card. Hold on. Hold on, that's a card. Because if they want to attack into it, I do make them discard 2 cards here. Would have been really nice to have a graveyard to pick something out of, but well, I guess they don't want to necessarily give up the shield counter, though. They could attack into me and I'd have to block the shield counter version of the card, which would be a bummer. Oh, they don't even attack here. What an interesting turn of events here, guys. What do I do? Part of me wants to swing through here. I mean, I guess I could, though. They can't block. I have Menace, right? So, yeah, we go through here to Teferi and to kill a Teferi at least. But they can't block. Oh, Wandering Emperor. Talk about the perfect answer. Yeah, I think that just about closes out this one. Bummer. Bummer. I'll play one more turn here. I'm sure this next turn is going to be pretty wild, though. They're going to be able to draw an extra card with both the Warden and the Teferi. So that's 2 more cards in hand. Their things get pumped up. I'm playing 1 land in hand like it's some sort of really good spell when it's not. They don't even take a loyalty counter off a Planeswalker here. They take it the Warden shield counter, which is pretty crazy. Ooh, not good enough. Not good enough. Wish it was. It's gonna get countered anyways too, so that'll do it. Yep, that'll do it. GG's. Oh, we were bound to lose one of these games. I mean, we were on an absolute roll, so I'm not too disappointed in that. Not to mention that was a pretty hard matchup. Once they dropped the farewell, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion, to be honest. That will conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to break the deck down, talk about it a little bit further. But before I do that, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who did make it this far into the video. Do appreciate that an absolute ton. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm, so thanks for sticking with me on that. But yeah, we'll talk about today's deck. We've got ourselves this Undying Malice Sacrifice deck. Sorry, I want to try to get this in a way where, yeah, we'll do it like this. All right, so you can see all the cards. So this one was brought to my attention because, again, a Discord member had mentioned that they'd like to see some sort of amalgam tie in with the Undying Malice, because the amalgam can sacrifice itself to create a much bigger hasty threat with this golem, right? It brings in this artifact golem that's 3 times the size of whatever the power is on this amalgam. And so on its cheap side, it's a 2/3 body bringing in a 6/6, or you can bring in a 5/5 version of this card that can bring in a 15/15. Obviously, putting 1/1 counters on this could affect its ability to bring in a much bigger golem. And then the idea is to use the Undying Malice and then, sacrifice the amalgam, bringing into a bigger version of itself again to be used again and again. So it's a pretty cool idea. And from there, I wanted to make sure I built something that follows that theme pretty well. Other things that can take advantage of the Undying Malice, things like Flesh Gorger and the Boulder Branch Golem. These 2 things are also prototype creatures, right? So the idea is still there as well. Once we bring these things in for their cheaper halves of the card, we can attack with these things, generate lifelink, gain life off the golem. And then when we sacrifice them, or when they die, the Undying Malice will blink these back into play as their bigger size of the card, which is really, really good. So I knew we were going to have to run some sacrifice tools, and Skyfisher Spider is one of my favorites to do that, because Skyfisher Spider can hit all these permanents that you want, destroying anything off the field, also generating an extra body, which is great. Obviously, if we're losing a body to destroy a body off their side of the field, but if we're hitting the Undying Malice, we're getting that body right back, which is great. Now, I did want to run Vivian as well, because it's one of my favorite ways to sacrifice anything. If I'm running a sacrifice deck and it has green, I want to do it with Vivian, because Vivian, when you sacrifice something and then can go grab something even better from the deck, is very, very good. If you can, finagle your deck in a way where what you're going to hit, which creature it's going to end up being, it could be a very, very powerful effect. So, of course, the top end, we have a lot of one-ofs, things like the War Chief, the Junji, the Desecrator, and the Titan. So the idea is that we get the Branch Golem in for 4, right? We pay the 4, we sacrifice it with Vivian. It goes and grabs things like the Workshop War Chief and the Junji, whichever one you want. And then this can then be later also be pulled for its 7 mana when the Vivian on the hunt wants to sacrifice something like the Desecrator. Then it can go ahead and find something for 7 mana, which could also be the Golem. So it can act as both sides of the coin, right? We play it for the cheap side. Vivian sacrifices for the cheap side, getting a mana bigger for something else. And then it could be, in the deck. The other copy of it can be in the deck that can be pulled out later with Vivian, which is really, really cool. So having one-ofs up top is pretty good, because Vivian can find them very easily. And the rest of the field, the lower mana CMC things can be multiples, things like Toshiro, which we've had a ton of success with. If you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of Toshiro right now in particular. I wasn't a big fan of this card when it came out, but right now it's been working really, really well for me. Been finding a ton of success, so it's been in a lot of my deck builds lately. So that's a good 2-mana creature down the road that you can sacrifice. Also Circuit Mender, a great sacrificial tool, because Circuit Mender comes in, gain life, it dies, we draw a card. Not only when it dies, but when it's exiled as well, which is really, really good. And then I didn't think this would be a deck that was going to necessarily survive the early onslaught of aggro, so I had to add in 3 copies of Gix's Command for the sweeper effects, and it also gives us some lifelink, which is really, really helpful. Now, some of the choices I made up top were interesting because Junji, Workshop War Chief, the Desecrator, all these things, when they die, give us some sort of benefits, right? The War Chief enters, gives us life gain. When it dies, gives us a 4/4 body. Junji does a few things for us. Desecrator also kills things for us. And then Titan enters the battlefield as our final top end. Obviously, Titan enters the battlefield, gives us a ton of value as well. And then lastly, we have the Cruelty of Gix. Now, this was added into the deck because if we're going to be sacrificing things like, let's say, the Flesh Gorger, for instance, we sacrifice the Flesh Gorger for some value early on in the game, and it goes to the graveyard. We can then use the Cruelty of Gix for 5 to bring in the 7 side of this card, the bigger half of it, for even cheaper reanimation. So I think the deck synergies were pretty wildly good. It works extremely well together, and I really enjoyed this one. This one was a lot of fun. It really fits the build for what I like to do in Magic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. But that will conclude today's video. So I'm going to get started on tomorrow's. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this one. There will be a stream again this week on Wednesday. Be on the lookout for that. Also, a box opening coming very soon. As soon as I can get the time to just squeeze in the edit in between all these videos this week, there'll be a box opening video for members only. If you guys don't know, we do have a membership program on the channel. We call it the Marty Mob. So shout out to them, of course, at the end of every video. Gotta let them know how much I appreciate their support, and let them know, hey, that box opening is coming. I promise. It's just about, a matter of time. But I appreciate you all very, very much for watching to the end, and especially the Marty Mob for your patronage. Thanks for helping me out. I appreciate you for that. And that will conclude today's video. We'll see you guys again here tomorrow, and we'll have another one ready for you to go. Another banger, hopefully. Until next time, though, peace out.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Selesnya, Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. When's the upload, man? Man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap, yeah.